It's Abraham Lincoln's birthday. It is the start of Carnival / Mardi Gras. It's Monday. It is the 12th day of February 2024 at 8:30 in the morning here at Site B. It is a lovely and warm spring morning, thank God, which means because it's Monday, it's time to open up our chart books, take out our sextant, and chart our course through the turbulent waters of the tabletop role-playing game news and controversy verse for this week. So, should we talk about the Deadpool trailer at the Super Bowl? Should we talk about Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl? Should we talk about Abraham Lincoln? Should we talk about Valentine's Day? Should we talk about the fate of 5e 2024 going forward and all the slightly sinister things Wizards of the Coast is up to that nobody's paying attention to? Or should we talk about Joe again? I don't know. You tell me what you want to talk about. I would think the whole thing with what's going on with the DM's Guild and the other shit's more important than the Joe thing. But apparently it's not. So let's see if there's any other stories going on that we need to look at today that might chart and affect the tabletop role-playing community for this week. From our good friends at ENWorld, we've got an article about how to play nice at D. I think that, wow, dude. I mean, joyful GMing, practical advice for playing nice is a way much needed article right now, Mr. Dunworthy. I don't know if anybody would read it because I don't know if we know how to play nice anymore. We've got an announcement for some new stuff coming from Free League for the One Ring, Lord of the Rings type stuff, Tales from the Lone Lands. We've got an article about how to improvise. Dude, you can't just tell people how to do improv in one article. There's that's a whole weird thing. We've got tactical combat thing coming from Modiphius for the Star Trek. It's documenting the Federation Klingon War. Often spoken of, but never really seen. The Federation Klingon War is one of the major things in Star Trek. It's mentioned in the, throughout the entire run. So finally getting into it is interesting. Paizo has released their plans to celebrate the Lunar New Year by releasing stuff for their Lost Omens for Teen Za adventure. I'm sure somebody will call them out for being racist and racial appropriation. And apparently it features fox people and bird people. Gelfling. Dark Crystal. Okay. I guess now we got to talk about the Joe thing. And if anybody is surprised that the Joe thing is stirring up controversy, wow, I don't know what planet you're looking at. And some of the comments that I have heard since we first saw this thing go up don't surprise me. Well, okay, I kind of expected you to say that. Wow, what a surprise you said that. Some of the other ones are like, really? Really? Are you just trying that hard to be disagreeable with Mr. Him? Because, he didn't have to do this interview. Let's just say in Joe's defense, he did not have to do the interview. He did not have to say the things he was said. This is all from the heart. It's not scripted. People are saying he was being spoon-fed, whatever. It's like, no, dude, the guy's an actor. The guy knows how to act. He's been on professional movies. He's been on professional role play, things like Critical Role. You can see Joe Manganiello. I'm sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, Mr. Sir. The actor and clear, concise, under control, professional actor. And you can see Joe, the human being. And just by watching this interview, watching his the way he fidgets, the way he stims, his voice, the way he moves, you can tell how upset he is and how much this means to him. So I don't think he was spoon-fed. I don't think he was paid anything. I think this was a heart and soul, real to the point interview from one individual that everybody and their dog seems to be finding fault with. And it's both sides. It's both sides of the never-ending toxic war that are going after Joe, which isn't a surprise. Some of the comments were a surprise. Okay. Some of my favorites, of course, the people who didn't believe this, the people who thought it was spoon-fed, the people who said, if I don't see a link, it isn't true, the people who thought I was somehow making this up, like I have the computer abilities to go into this that is recorded online and change it and replace what Joe said with deep fakes of myself. Anybody who thought I made this up Well, thank you very much for thinking I'm that smart and that I am that computer literate that I could deep fake an entire interview with Joe Manganiello. I mean, really, if you want to talk shit about me, there are way better things to talk shit about me than thinking I somehow have the Machiavellian ability to actually alter the words coming out of this individual's mouth. So I am both flattered that you think I'm that intelligent and just flabbergasted that you're that stupid. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for thinking I am that evil that I can, that I had Joe here in my house and I was like, say what I want you to say, Manganiello, or I'm going to kill your figures. Yeah, no. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He never met Gygax. Yeah, he did. Okay. Next favorite one. Well, yeah, he's a conservative, but he's a California conservative, so he doesn't count. Okay. The votes for California conservatives, the thoughts of California conservatives don't count because he's not conservative enough, because he said, things about the woke mob. And other people are like, well, he's obviously woke. He's obviously, whatever. He's obviously Hollywood. So, of course, he's going to say these things. It's like, yeah. Show us the whole article or I don't believe it. Well, the whole article is available. The whole interview is available at comicbook.com. So the tabletop role-playing game conservatives have gone after him for saying things like he thought 5e was better than Gygax and other stuff. And because he's a Hollywood conservative, he's not a real conservative. So what he says about liking 5e doesn't matter. He's obviously an awful human being because he enjoyed playing and running 5th edition, and he liked 5th edition, and he thought the Mike Merle's version of 5th edition was the best thing ever. But yeah, because that goes against the manufactured mentality of that side of the fence, they're now going against Joe. They don't want him to be part of their side. And the other side of the fence, the Sparkle Trolls and the Rage Pigs and the Garapies and the Cliffs and the Wildes and the Neils, they're all saying, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He was spoon-fed. 5e is the legacy of Gary Gygax. For him to say that anything after Mike Merle's sucked, for him to say that 5e was better than Gygax D&D is awful. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Rules is written. He's never met Gygax. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's old. He's become a grognard. He hates the thing that's given him money. He hates D&D. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Anywhere from I'm surprised he hasn't received death threats yet. I'm surprised I haven't received death threat yet. But some of the comments are just stupid. And, borderline conspiracy nutcase. I mean, again, well, he's conservative, but he's not conservative enough. Well, he's liberal, but he's not liberal enough. Well, he's a Gygax fan, but he's not a Gygax fan. Well, he's a 5e fan, but he's not a 5e fan. Well, he's lying. Well, you're lying. Well, you made this up, OGGM. Comicbook.com, show us the link or we don't think it's true. So, if you're surprised that, this is the response he got, sorry, welcome to the internet. If Mr. Manganiello is surprised that this is the response he's got, well, welcome to the internet. Where will this go from here? Will we continue to stir it up for the next week and find fault in this interview? Yeah, I was just about to get that one. Now, in regards to the other half of that, now we move all the things about his stupid comment about him thinking 5e under Merle's was better than Gygax D&D. I mean, I could say something about, Gygax D&D wasn't really that great, but I mean, how many death threats would I get? My favorite version of D&D, 3, 3.5. And 5. If we're going to go my timeline, I would say AD&D 3.5 is my favorite. 5e is my second favorite. 4e is my third favorite. All right. Okay. Anyways, this question has come up a lot because people don't really understand how this works. So while, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot speak with any level of certainty on any of the other subjects, and you're welcome to call me out on this one. Having worked in the studio industry for 16 years, having written movies, having been on the production set, having talked to writers and producers and directors for the 10 years I worked at Dave's, I can say with some level of expertise what Joe can do right now. All right, so lock, stock, and barrel, Joe has what we call a spec script for a pilot for the Dragonlance TV show. He has the series Bible for the TV show. He has the okay from Margaret and Tracy to do this. He has other people in the industry, from production to agents, who have all said this is a really good script. You should do this. Unfortunately, he cannot call it Dragonlance, because that is what Hasbro is saying. We do not want to invest any more time and energy in Dragonlance. We don't see a future. Now, people can say, well, that's Hasbro's fault. There's no future. People can say it's Margaret and Tracy's fault. There's no future. Then we might even blame the other side. Oh, it's the woke side. Dragonlance got fucked. Oh, it's the conservative side that Dragonlance got fucked. Oh, we complained about Dragonlance and talked shit about Dragonlance, and then they made a crappy Dragonlance. And now they're saying we don't want to do Dragonlance because we've told them we don't want to do. Stuff. So yeah. Sorry. Spec script, done. Series Bible, done. In the can, done. Hollywood has said you should make this. Wizards of the Coast Hasbro says you can't make this. So what can Joe do? Well, as DM Kurt suggests, and as I suggested, the best thing he could do is crowdfund a spec pilot. Now, a spec pilot is where you make something similar to the product to show that it can be made. They did this with The Expanse, or the most famous one, of course, is the Terminator Aliens. Now, I don't remember which one came first, but basically, when those movies were being shopped around, I think it was Aliens was made to show he could do Terminator 2 or Terminator. It's either Terminator 2 was made to show he could do Aliens, or Aliens was made to show he could do Terminator 2. I think it was Terminator to show he could make Aliens. But anyways, he made one movie to show that he could make the other movie. And once Hollywood saw that, yeah, you can do this, Gale and those guys got the green light to do the other movie. I'm old. I don't remember which one came first, but it doesn't matter. The matter is that this is something that has been done repeatedly throughout things, where you make one to show that the other one can work. So that's what Joe could do. He could crowdfund it. He could make a fantasy film or a space film and basically just scrub out anything in the script that has any connection to Dragonlance specifically, very specific characters, specific locations, specific to Dragonlance stuff, bips and bobs and things. Because if you scrub out this very specific names and locations, it's a fantasy movie, right? It's just a fantasy series that stuff happens that happens to revolve around these very specific individuals, this very specific timeline, and this very specific objects. But you remove that, and it's pretty much just standard fantasy mumbo jumbo, which you could do anything with. He could take it and make a Western out of it. Which would be awesome. He could take it and make a space movie out of it, which would be awesome. He could take it and, gather up some of his friends, head up to the Pacific Northwest or Colorado for a weekend. There's a castle in Colorado you can rent. There's a castle in Texas you can rent. There's stuff in Las Vegas where you can go film, that looks like fantasy medieval Europe. You get a couple Ren Farers, you get a couple stunt people, you get people who owe you favors. You do a classic gonzo shoot over the weekend up at Joshua Tree. You go Roger Corman and you spend $1 million. And then you shop it around. Maybe Amazon picks it up. Maybe HBO picks it up. And now Joe has shown to Hasbro that this will work. And then Hasbro could go, okay, you're right. We will back the official Dragonlance product. And then Joe gets to make the Dragonlance product. That's probably the only option that is available to Manganiello, Joe, whatever. And that's the best option. And he's probably smart enough to do that. So unless he has other things on his tables right now, like movies or TV shows, or, you know, going to work on something else, that could be it. That's what I would recommend that he would do. And that's probably what other people are in the industry are telling him right now. Look, you've got the script, you've got the Bible, you've got everything but the name. Make the movie and just don't use the name. Use different names. Tasselhoff becomes Fred. Raceland becomes Susan. You know, Tanis Half-Elven becomes Jay. Instead of it taking place on the world of Kryn, it takes place on the planet Specula 9. Instead of dragons, it's space whales. Right? So hopefully that answers people's questions about what's the potential future of the Dragonlance license is for Joe until Hasbro decides to maybe do something else with it. We don't know. It's Hasbro, so who the fuck knows? Meanwhile, while all this is going on and we're all pointing fingers at Joe and what a horrible human being he is, or what a wonderful human being he is, or what just an individual who made his point is, we are once again failing to pay attention to the actual real story that is going on. And that is the fate of the official authorized canon storylines coming out of the Adventurers Guild and the new 2024 CC that is being shopped around to third-party publishers. And is there a reason why so many different third-party publishers are suddenly trying to get rid of their 5e inventory? Is there a reason why suddenly the Adventurers Guild is trying to get rid of 1,400 different products that they've made over the years for 5e that are all canon official 5e Wizards of the Coast approved products that apparently will be vanished from the face of the earth after the 24th of February? Maybe. But that's not important, right? Because while we're looking over here at all this, you know, flash and mirrors with Joe and all these other stories, we're not paying attention to this. We're not paying attention to how slowly but surely Hasbro is erasing 10 years of Dungeons and Dragons product. And all these third-party companies are being told, oh, put your 5e stuff on sale. Oh, Adventurers Guild, you need to shut all that down. It's no longer canon. It's no longer official. The new Adventurers Guild stories will not take place in the Forgotten Realms. It's all Planescape. It's always been Planescape. It's once again Jeremy Crawford's magic ability to rewrite time and D&D canon hardback by saying, oh, it's always been Planescape. And 2024 through 2027 D&D will be 100% Planescape. But yeah, let's not pay attention to that. That's not important. Anyways, that's the news. Agree with me, disagree with me. Tell me what you're thinking. We have opened up our charts and we know that these are the things that are probably going to be the most talked about topics on the tabletop role-playing game community. Either that or 1.1 time, because that thing is still not gone away. If you appreciate my content, let me know. If you don't appreciate my content, let me know. If you have something you want me to talk about in 2024, let me know. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, please subscribe. Help me hit 2001 subs by August 4th. Don't forget all my amazing product that's available for sale. If you haven't checked out the wonderful world of me on the Red Room, check it out. Have a great day. Happy birthday, Mr. Abraham Lincoln. And enjoy the sun, because apparently we still have more winter coming.